I'm telling you, it's not the same as your six-side story of a lover and how he lost his way. And I'm telling you, you're not to blame for how he wrought your heart, and I'm the same.
What's up, guys? It's episode 33 with Bach Mai. Welcome, Bach.
What's up?
How's it going today?
Not too shabby. Sun's out.
Sun's out, guns out. Hey, I listened to a whole bunch of music today, and if I was to, give it a genre, other than, indie, this is what I would associate it with. You ready?
Go on.
Campfire sing-along music,
Mm-hmm.
Sunday cleaning music,
Mm-hmm.
coffee shop music. How do you feel about those?
I think it fits most of those things most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
What songs are outside of those three?
Oh, I just sometimes they can get angsty enough that it's less casual than a coffee shop.
An aggressive coffee shop,
Yeah,
maybe.
super emo coffee shop, sure.
Yeah, I know. There's one lyric that kept sticking out to me. I heard the song multiple times. It was like stab me and twist, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Oh, it's, twist that knife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, man, he went through some shit.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was just based on like a breakup where I felt like she didn't really do anything wrong, and so when we broke up, I was like, it'd be easier if you did.
Ooh,
Uh,
oh,
yeah, and so
okay.
that's how I coped with it, I guess. Not healthy, but I did it.
Yeah, you kind of took it in a different direction compared to a lot of like breakup songs where they're like, you tore me from the inside out. I can't do anything. I can't go outside. And you're like, I wish
Yeah,
it was worse.
yeah, it was different. It was just a different perspective, just because I didn't think that she did anything wrong, so I could be mad, and so I was mad that I couldn't be mad about it, and so I was trying to like, yeah, it was weird.
You're trying to find a way. You're like, I'll make it seem like it could have been worse or something.
Yeah, exactly. Let me
Oh,
pretend.
let me pretend. I mean, a lot of songs are like that. I had this discussion with this guy, episode 25. His name's Drama, and I'm like, if you think about all rap songs, they're like, yeah, I got a stack of like 100,000 in my hand, and I got a gun, and I shot somebody. He's like, how many of these rappers actually fucking killed somebody? Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Like,
It's
they're
not what
singing
the filter with
hypotheticals.
the times.
If that was the case, then we got a lot of fucking we got a lot of murderers on the loose that probably should be put away in jail if they're killing it. We're out there killing people, you know.
Yeah, that's possible. That happens.
It's just, I guess it's strange to think about. And whatever. Let's get off rappers. Ugh,
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Anyhow, your music is very uplifting. It's easy to sing along to. I've seen Snapchats when you were playing in house shows, and it was like, from one perspective, I seen Deanna's view, and then another perspective, I seen a friend who I had no clue liked your type of music, like sitting
Yeah.
up on some stairs.
Yeah. Good
Where
time.
was that? When was it?
That was probably, I mean, if you're talking about sitting on stairs, that's probably at Warren's house. Warren Babel? He plays in second string. He wants to make his house a house venue. We actually booked a few other bands to play in March, but like with everything going on, he had to cancel. But he wants to have regular house shows there. The times are a little different because of COVID and all that jazz, but it was a good time. We like to write songs to have people sing along, and we write it for that. And then there's a few tunes that we always play that we try to introduce parts for people to participate in. Yeah, just spreading messages and words and shit.
Yeah, I love the thoughts of house shows again because I think those are going to pop off before you see venue shows.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, with things going the way they are now, I think businesses and venues are going to be a little bit more hesitant than people actually wanting to host stuff in their like at their place, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I have a, I mean, I have a good inkling for the DIY community to pop off, like whether it's in town or out of town or all that jazz. But I certainly hope so. I mean, I know a lot of us miss playing shows, a lot of us miss going to shows, and it'll be a lot harder for um, people to convince others to go to shows with regulations and stuff that
Right.
will probably be in place here soon. And so I don't know. It'd be like, you know, Prohibition era. People have like bars in secret places. We'll just have shows in houses, and no
Right,
one
right.
will know until we get too loud, which always happens, and then we'll just keep partying. I don't know. I love playing house shows. I do a lot.
That's crazy that you bring it up. It's like bring it back to the speakeasy times.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so nice. You have to have a password to get into somebody's basement to go to a
Yeah,
house
for
show.
sure. Yeah.
I actually thought about this. One of my friends used to live up in Minnesota, and we went to a speakeasy bar.
Yeah.
And the way they got people to like follow their Facebook page is they put the password on the Facebook page.
Oh
So the
yeah.
only
So cute.
the only way you would know is if you follow them, which is it's fucking genius because
Yeah.
obviously those people like the page and then they see all the specials and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yeah. I remember I went to KC a few years back, and a friend of mine who worked at the bar at the restaurant that I worked at told me to go to this place and gave me this number, and they're like, text this number, your reservation time, and then they'll text you back yes or no depending on if they're available. I was like, okay. And it was fucking sweet. It was very expensive, but it was delicious. It was a good time, and I felt pretty cool going into like the back of a restaurant alley and stuff.
Right, right. Okay, now moving on, I guess back to shows. What do you think shows are going to be like? I guess the first one's back. Do you think people are going to be hesitant to stand next to each other? You think people are going to embrace right away? What do you see happening?
I think it depends on the type of show. I could see us getting back and things being a little weird. And then I could also see some shows where like you get back and these people have wanted a mosh for like a month and a half and they're just gonna go wild.
Right.
And who knows what is the better idea with the circumstance, but I think it'll happen depending on the gig. In general,
True.
I'm sure people will just be excited to be out and be able to see some live music. Hopefully, I've read a lot of things and participated in a lot of discussions about how we hope this at least is a benefit for the local music scenes, just because booking nationwide tours is a lot more risky now
Yeah.
with the possibility of there being a resurgence of COVID in the near future, with venues being more hesitant and being scared about all the liabilities of booking shows. And so hopefully venues are more comfortable, more interested in booking local shows, and people are more interested in checking those out because that may or may not be the only option for a little while. There's a lot of people writing that concerts won't get to a regular status until 2021 or even later than that. So hopefully, at least the local scene can hold it up for a little while.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go house show tours
Oh
all
yeah,
through
oh
the
yeah.
year.
People do that all the time, and I actually had a little house show tour booked the week of uh, oh the calls to stay home and stuff. I was supposed like March 19th. We were supposed to be in Atlanta playing a gig at my friend's place, but you know that's just part of the thing. Even so, I think even local venues hopefully will book more local acts and people will go to those.
Yeah, I
Because
think if go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say the other thing that's just really nice is that we have a lot of talent in town, as do a lot of local music scenes, and obviously you know that. But I think there tends to just be a reluctance to go to those shows because either people are saving up to go to this show or that show, or they've never even heard of it, or just a general barrier of ignorance, whether it's
Right.
good or bad. And I can't blame people for that. So I just hope this provides more exposure for people.
Well, for sure. And like you said, I think people used to be hesitant. They're like, well, there's a band coming from Colorado that I've never heard of. Why am I going to go spend $15 for them?
Oh
Right.
yeah,
But I think moving forward, I think we're going to appreciate it a lot more that those people are coming through, being that we had it taken away for whatever amount of time it's going to take. I mean, we don't even have an idea on when shows are going to be back. Peter Barnes, he
yeah,
guessed November of this year before they even played a show, which that's nuts to think about.
I know. We had a show booked with them in June. That would have been so fun.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, we're gonna play Lookout with them, and there's a touring band called Seafloor Cinema that's really sweet. Those guys were really nice. They're like a math prog band and emo too. And we're gonna play Lookout. That was gonna be cool, but obviously we had to cancel that.
Right. I was
Yeah, I was gonna release. We were gonna release an album in July and tour on that, but then things got real weird, so that's not happening. And I'm deciding on whether we should uh, reroute for like a December tour, or if next year is a better idea, or if we release the music now and figure out some sort of marketing plan to make that work out. I don't know.
right.
I don't know anything anymore.
See, that's funny that you brought up like playing with a band like Been Better. So they're a little bit heavier than you guys, but it'd be a great collab show, being that you guys are more or less indie. Would you classify yourselves as indie?
Yeah, we tend to just say that we're an indie pop punk band. I think
Okay.
that's the easiest way to put it.
See, I think you guys would do good with Dear Neighbor if you know who
But
they
yeah,
are.
that'd be fun. I mean, I we have a general tendency to not say no to shows in general.
Sure.
I love playing with. I mean, we had a show booked in April with um an indie band in town called Oh, which has like a really like kind of like heavier, bright eyesy kind of vibe. And then we were gonna play with Marcy Yates, who's a rapper in town as well. That would have been really fun.
Yeah, mixed genre shows. These are fun.
Oh, super fun. I love mixed genre shows.
Yeah, because what it does for the fans obviously is it gives them exposure. I mean,
Yeah.
you come there for one band, you'll learn about two others. It's great.
Oh, it's awesome. We
Rather
played
than
a show in Chicago once, in this apartment house venue, and the guy that booked it had us, and there were like there were like four comedians between everybody's sets, and
no,
then we had acoustic sets, and there were like four other musicians, but it was like a tight schedule between 7 and like 11 or so, and it was super fun.
that would be nice. It's just good vibes all around. You don't have to worry about just seems nice and relaxed the whole
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
So if you can go into detail maybe about how an indie band goes about doing tours. Do you use a booking agent or is it all DIY being that you're doing house show tours?
Oh, it is so DIY at this point.
Good.
It is so DIY that I'm tired because I'm the why. Um, I it's a lot of emailing people. It's a lot of just scouring through Facebook groups and messaging people and seeing what we can book. Um, the easiest thing to do for me is we try to open a lot for touring bands and then try to reconnect with those people if we head out their way. I've always found that the easiest because basically by that point when you're trying to book the tour, you're just talking to friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Smart. So where's the furthest west you've been doing these house shows? And what's the
Um,
furthest east you've been?
we just started like touring out of town a bit last year or so, or a couple years ago. But I mean, furthest west would be just Denver or Fort Collins. We played in Fort Collins, and then furthest east is Chicago so far. For this next tour, I was hoping to book all the way out to the Northeast. I have some friends in Philly and Boston and stuff, so um, that would be really nice to leverage. But things are weird right now. But hopefully soon.
Now, are these friends you've made from school when you were studying music?
But friends from school as well as friends from playing gigs with and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, you went to UNO. What did you exactly study? I know you were something music related, but I don't know what it was exactly.
Yeah, I got a music biz degree, and I also got a marketing degree and an international business minor. So
Ooh, marketing degree.
yeah,
I see. You say yeah, but this is one of the most interesting parts about talking to everybody is like how they market themselves. Because
yeah.
I think how you market yourself now is maybe just as important as how good your band may be.
Oh, 100%.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, Caleb Drama, that rapper I had on, he said a person who can market themselves great with poor sounding music will always do better than somebody who doesn't market themselves good, who has great music.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I
Wise.
mean it's all about like how many ears and eyes you get in front of. So whatever you can do to make that happen is what counts, really. I mean, obviously, I mean, I think in a just like a moral and passionate level, I hope I want the music should be good. But I understand the concept of being able to do the business game right
Right.
ju- just to get there. Yeah.
So I guess what tools have you taken from I guess the marketing aspect and incorporated into your band so far?
I mean, the majority of any marketing strategy that I take away is just really heavy networking, just getting to know people as much as possible, whether they're immediately in the scene or not. I always find that the people that are doing the most things are just people that know people. So I do a lot of networking at shows, outside of shows, through work, through friends, all that kind of stuff. Um, and then just being really genuine about it. It's really easy to network with people and seem like you're just trying to get a connection for the sake of yourself. But a lot of times these people are really cool and doing cool things, so it's easy to be excited. So
Right. Hey, have you ever heard of what's called the rule of five? I think that's
yeah,
what it's called.
you're like 5 degrees away from anybody.
Yeah. Who do you think, or who would you want, like, to be on that fifth degree? If let's say you knew Deanna and Deanna knew somebody, who would you want to be like that fifth person out if you had a choice?
Yeah, I I mean, there's just so many people that I would like to collaborate with or just like see the music in and stuff, you know? I mean, what's really nice is since we live in Omaha, we're 5 degrees from a lot of people
Oh
because
yeah.
Connor Oberst exists here. And so we always know one person that knows him, and then he knows a lot of people as well. So, I mean, in that network, I'd love to just know anybody in the Boy Genius crew, like Lucy Dacus or Julian Baker, Phoebe Bridgers, that kind of stuff. But I mean, my personal idols are Max Bemis from Say Anything, Glenn Hansard and Damian Rice from not a band, but they're their own bands. Yeah, stuff like that would be really cool.
It's crazy to think about that. Like, I don't know if that's quite true though. You know, it just seems too good to be true. The rule of five, like
Yeah,
somebody that big is that close to you. I don't know. It's hard to believe,
yeah. I
but
mean, like the thing is that you could know a bartender at Page Turner's that has met Connor because he literally goes there. I mean, I there was one time I was playing a gig at Page Turner's and he showed up in the back and I was like, look at that. That's the guy with all the know-how. Um, and I literally have friends that have like partied with him and stuff, which is
can you can
yeah.
you tell me who this Connor guy is because I'm not familiar with him.
Oh, he's the lead singer of Bright Eyes.
Oh, and he's in Omaha.
Yeah, he's from Omaha. He went to prep.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, he's an old boy, but he's also in Better Oblivion Community Center. I know him through a lot of various music because I grew up pretty emo.
Grew up pretty emo. I,
On purpose, I
it,
suppose.
see, it's crazy that I guess that it's weird how people transition that much over time. Maybe it's I guess, your personality itself, or maybe it's just like the music growing? Because I can remember growing up and like the first heavy music I got into was like Chiodos. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Chiodos and like Devil Wears Prada, but now I hardly listen to those guys. Granted, Chiodos isn't a band anymore.
Yeah,
Devil Wears Prada.
there's a lot of that.
Yeah. When I guess when you were growing up, let's say like 13, 14, what are some of the songs we would find on your iPad, or for some, what songs would we find on your Zune?
Yeah, man, when I was in middle school, I barely knew music. I mean, like I would listen to whatever my sister was listening to, um, and then just a bunch of other shit. Like I remember in middle school ripping the audio from that dude that did the acoustic cover of Hey Ya and just like listening to that all the time because I thought it was so genius that it was a different, like it was so different. But I mean, around that time, I would have been listening to a lot of just like all pop punk emo stuff. So like Mike Hem, Say Anything, Blink, all that jazz. And then my brother listened to a lot of rap growing up. So I mean, growing up, I also listened to a lot of Bone Thugs and Harmony and Usher, and
Whoa.
so I mean, it's always kind of it's always been a bit of a hodgepodge.
Can you remember the first CD you bought?
The first CD I remember buying would have been Gorilla's Plastic Beat.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, Gorillas. Ooh, so
Yeah.
many good memories growing up with that. I can remember like when I was growing up, I had this like rocker chair, right? So you would I'd be playing like my PS2, right?
Yeah.
But in the rocker chair, it had speakers on the
Oh,
outside
yeah,
of
I
it.
know those. Yeah.
God, and
I
I would
would
listen to
get those
Gorillas and
from,
play
like,
football.
yeah.
Oh my God, nostalgia.
Yeah, I remember seeing those chairs in the those like school contests where you're selling cookie dough and
Oh
shit.
yeah,
Yeah. I never
yeah.
was good at that, so I never, but I've seen those chairs. I know they exist. I know
You know
exactly.
what's crazy? I bet you they'd sell so good right now with like Bluetooth capability, obviously, because I
Oh
think
yeah.
you used to have to like plug it in.
Yeah, and those speakers probably sound a lot better these days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just like everything, I bring this up with a lot of people. Like, imagine if the music from, let's just say, 1990 was produced now. How much different would that sound?
Yeah, no, it's wild. I mean, there's a band called Great Grandpa. They just came out with an album called Four of Arrows, and they have a few songs on there that are just so 90s heavy, and it sounds awesome. Like the way that they do it now. They have a song called Bloom that just sounds like it's straight. Like the guitar parts sound like they're straight out of like a Michelle Branch album, and then the lyrics are nothing like it. It's really nice. And I think Soccer Mommy just came out with an album called Color Theory that is super 90s influence too. But because it's so new and fresh, um, it's just a tall glass of water. It's good to drink. I like
I love these band names, by the way.
it.
Great Grandpa and Soccer Mom, is that what it was?
Yeah, and Soccer Mommy. But yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Oh my God. I was, who was I joking with? At the end of one podcast, I was like, I was joking about like pop punk type of names or indie band type of names. Like you could name it anything. You could be like Kitchen Cabinets. What's up? We're Kitchen Cabinets.
Yeah. No, I mean
Or,
it's the same with front bottoms. I think I
yeah.
remember listening into an interview. They were just like, "What's the stupidest thing we could just call our names that makes no sense?" Front bottoms. Okay. And they just went with it
All
because
right.
it means nothing.
How important is it to have a good band name anymore? Probably not.
I don't know. It just like whatever rolls off the tongue in the right way, you know.
All right. I used to name my football teams. I'd call I call my football team the Council Bluffs Silly Nannies.
I wouldn't really see that show, but I would watch a YouTube video of it, and then
Let's see what the Council Bluffs Silly Nannies are up to today.
it doesn't roll off the tongue.
I think I might have stole the Silly Nannies from Family Guy. That sounds like something that comes off the Family Guy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
All right, let's get off that shit. When did you start playing music?
I started learning piano when I was in about second or third grade, and then started guitar around eighth grade. Didn't really get into it until junior year of high school, and then I started like I always really enjoyed choir in elementary school, but it was never cool to enjoy choir. So
Right.
I kept that to myself until middle school when I tried out for musical for the first time.
Gotcha. And was the goal right off the bat? I mean, it's hard to tell, and everything's clear in retrospect. Do
Hmm.
you think getting into choir motivated you to start your own band down the line?
I think down the line, yeah, I've always enjoyed choral music, and there's just there's a lot to say about so many like humans with a unified purpose, and I've always enjoyed that part of being any sort of musical group. But yeah, I mean, I'd say so. Mrs. Fredrickson was like fucking cool. So
That that's funny you kind of bring that up because like I said, I was listening to a ton of your music earlier today, and some of the harmonies, I don't know who the other singer is, so you might have to let me know.
oh, it's probably Angeline if it was off the first album. Yeah,
Oh my God, some of the harmonies on that,
yeah,
fucking man.
yeah. She has a wicked voice, and she also had a really fun. She had a really fun natural inclination toward harmonies that like you don't initially think of. You know, she's not just sitting on thirds and then just following the track. She tends to write a lot of counter melodies and things that just play
That's what it
around
is.
with the melody and like move things and kind of just
Yeah,
dance, which is cool.
yeah, they're not right on top of each other. She was kind of like singing, not, I don't know how to explain it, but like what you're saying makes sense, but she wasn't singing like the same exact phrasing as you were. Does
Oh,
it make sense?
yeah, it's like the difference between uh I'm trying to think of a good metaphor. It's like the difference between having a sandwich and having ham and turkey and having like ham and salami. Like salami like has like it has a noticeable impact that's completely different. Whereas like the turkey would just kind of be good on it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't add much, you know?
Yeah.
It's more thick
Okay.
than it is flavor, you know what I'm saying? You know?
Not the metaphor I was going to draw. I was going to say, imagine a wave going like this and then another one going like very subtle and not shaping the same way. But we
100%. It's
we
both.
both, yeah, I was going to say, we both got to the same place, different ways.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Hey,
No, I always really loved singing with Angeline. She helped develop a lot of that first album just through our collaborations, just because her voice would take it a certain way, and yeah, good
how
times.
often do you like doing collaborations? Being that, trying to think of the way to phrase this question. Collaborations would be fun, but obviously are you the only singer in your band?
I tend to be just like the main vocals, and then
Yeah.
we try to have backup vocals as much as we can. But yeah, I know
So
what you're.
is it a nice change of pace doing collaborations every once in a while though?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, the more people want to participate, the more fun I have. You know.
Ooh, I
Um,
like that mindset.
yeah, I just there's a I'm really aware of the limits that I have, and so the only way to overcome that with the least amount of time required is to have other people participate with what they can do. And I've always believed in that, and I feel like that has aided the evolution of our music by quite a margin. Yeah.
Sure. And you've done quite a few covers. Do you have your own? I would assume you have your own YouTube channel and everything.
Oh yeah. If you look up my YouTube channel, you'll see a baby version of me in college that was just like fucking starry-eyed as hell and just doing good. I used to do a cover a week, like every Tuesday I would do a cover. They were like I missed like maybe 5 weeks that year. It was insane.
Holy shit!
And they're not all great, but they exist. um Deanna and I actually did a cover of Siberia by Lights.
Oh
And
yeah, I've seen it.
yeah, no, there's just there's a lot of content on there. I love doing covers because I mean, that's the only way you learn the music is by learning other people's music, and then you find your voice in that. So
That's crazy that you almost like phrased my question. I had it I had a question written down like, does it build confidence learning somebody else's song, and does it like help you write?
oh, 100%.
Boom! Freaking took the words right off the sheet. That's fucking nuts.
That's the through line, my dude. I mean, like all the music is connected, so whatever you find that feels right, and then you like put it into your own DNA, and then you create it. It's just what it is.
Right, right. I like when people do songs that are kind of like reimagined. So they take the vocals and they take like the main riffs and stuff off of it,
Yeah,
but then they kind of play around with it. That's fun. That's
yeah.
fun.
That was one of my favorite quotes from there was an NPR video recently where they were following they did a video with Ninth Wonder, who's a big producer, and one of the things he said that I absolutely loved was he said music is the creation of things, whereas producing music and making a lot of hip hop and soul was alchemy, because you're taking things that were already created and making something new. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But conceptually too, I would argue that there's a lot of alchemizing that happens within your own music creation, just because there's no way for you to make anything purely original. It's just a lot of other
Right,
things becoming part of you that filters through and becomes whatever you make. So
right. That's what I get scared about. It's like thinking about music in the future, especially in the hardcore scene.
yeah,
Like everything's been done. I mean, and the example I always give that Joe Rogan's always given, it's like if you believe in infinity, everything's been done up to like that, right?
yeah,
So it's crazy to think like somebody's going to be thinking that they're writing something that's transcending, something that's brand new, but
yeah.
it's probably been done before.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think that's why we've seen the music industry change so much. I mean, the reason why, I mean, social media obviously opened a lot of doors to bringing celebrities into the house and becoming your best friend or whatever. But I think that also impacts the way that we digest music, because a lot of I mean, I have to understand that my music doesn't sound immediately original, and it is what it is, and that's totally fine. And I have to accept the fact that a good portion of people that listen to my music are people that are close to me, and they listen to it because they are either my friends or family or something, and that's okay to have that be the reason why they do the thing. And it's the same with a lot of celebrities. A lot of people like certain bands because they've become um, affectionate towards a certain singer or player, and those are the things that make it original to them. And so, I mean, as far as the evolution of music into the future, maybe it won't all sound immediately original, but there's still going to be something that's going to be special about it based on
Right.
your experience, whether when you listen to it, how you listen to it, or who it's coming from. So I think it'll be fine, is what I'm saying.
Great thought. Great thought. Now, is there a song that sticks out to you where you can like remember the first time you heard it, or that sets you in a place? Like for example, there's a song by this band called Holding Absence, Wilt, and every
Yeah.
time I hear it, I just like get goosebumps. I think about myself just like driving down a road and it's nice and starry outside and it's kind of cold and it kind of just like sets the mood. Are there any songs like that stick out to you right away?
Yeah, I when I listen to music, it tends to send me back to wherever I first listened to it, anyways, or where I listened to it the most. I mean, there's a lot of songs that send me to certain places, like "Toxicity" by System of the Down.
Yeah.
Always makes me think of when I was like in elementary school. I was playing Legends of Dragoon on PlayStation 1. And I remember my brother was listening to that song like on repeat, and I was just sitting there playing the game. And so I specifically associate that song with a certain level of that game.
Fair. That's nuts.
And there's just a lot of stuff like that.
Well, here's a throwback for you. When I was like 9 or 10, I can remember getting Limp Bizkit's hot dog flavored water or chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water.
Woof. Yeah.
Like when you're 9 or 10 and you hear the song hot dog and he cusses like he says fuck like 45 times in a song, you're like, that's me, dog. That's me. I'm listening to this. I can't believe I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
Like I can remember the first time hearing that song. I'm like, oh shit, I better turn this down because I had a big old CD player, it was like this big and had
Oh,
speakers on the side, and
yeah.
oh my god, the
Oh yeah.
memories. And
Yeah.
then
I I mean, when I was a kid, I used to listen to um, the Backstreet Boys Black and Blue album to go to sleep a lot. Like that
oh,
was
I had that album.
for maybe 2 to 3 like total years of just sleeping to that. So yeah.
All right. We're almost done here, but we're also going to do this thing called a word sneak every episode, or maybe every other episode. We're going to throw in a word somewhere in the podcast, whether it's going to be the 3rd minute, the 13th minute, the 45th minute, and I guess we'll set it up like this, Bach. If you were to serve food at your shows, what kind of food would you serve?
I would serve tachos,
Tacos.
specifically those created at Night Owl
Ooh.
on 40th and Bottom.
Okay, so if you heard this, comment on the video, tachos, or actually don't comment on the video. Send it to me, otherwise you're going to give away the answer.
Yeah.
And the first person to do that, the first person to send me the word tachos will get a free shirt when they get printed. Bada bing, bada bing.
Yeah.
Tachos are going to get you fucking free merch.
Tachos are a beautiful thing. They only give.
Listen, I don't think that's ever been said. Tachos are going to get you free merch.
I don't know. Maybe that's the original thing.
I just made it up. I'm the fucking man.
Yeah. I mean I think my favorite note on being original would be from have you ever seen Garden State?
Mm-mm.
So it's with Zach Braff and Natalie Portman. It was one of Zach Braff's like first like indie films ever. And there's this whole bit about how the characters are trying to find their place in the world. And so in an effort to be original, what they do is or one of them tells the other one to do is to just make a sound that you've never heard before or never thought of before. And then because you made that sound at that very moment and you are who you are and you are where you are, there's like millions of a chance that you're the only one that's ever done that there in that exact moment. And like, that's nice. It just means like we all have the opportunity to just be our own person if we just put ourselves into the perspective to do so.
Yeah, I thought about that when I first got my car. I'm like, I don't think anybody's ever listened to an Ironside CD in a 2017 Subaru Crosstrack. I bet
Yeah.
you I'm the first one.
But everybody's probably listened to Subaru Crosstrack by Hobo Johnson in their Subaru Crosstrack.
Get out of here.
I'm just saying, there's a good chance that wouldn't have been the original move, but you went with the original move, so that's
Yeah. You're right, Bach. Thanks for building my self-esteem here. I'm the fucking man. I'm the OG, and let it be known.
that is mostly true.
What? What do you mean mostly?
I don't know. I can't assume that all of those things are true. You said like 6 things.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, Bach. It sucks that we have to do this, but it's almost at 40 minutes. So do this. I know we don't have any shows coming up, but what can people do to find you? Do you have any merch they can find?
Go on. Oh yeah. So you can go to bachmaimusic.com. On there you will find links to all the things. We have all our music on Spotify. You're welcome to listen to it there. We have merch online. We go through an online distributor, so it's all made to order. So if you go to bachmaimusic.com/shop, you can buy any merch that is available there all the time because it's out of our hands. We don't make a ton of profit from it, but it is really cool to see people wearing that stuff. It's more of an exposure marketing thing for us, but it brings us a lot of joy to see people wearing that stuff. Also, it's super comfy, like all the time. Those shirts are really comfy. We have, I mean, we have a few leftover like home printed shirts, but they look okay.
I'll snag them from you. I'll snag them from you.
But
I'll take any merch right now.
yeah, but other than that, just following us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook. I don't use Twitter very much, but I'm there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just follow us on Instagram. There'll be stuff that comes out. We have a Bandcamp. I'm working on some collaborations with some friends, and I mean, we'll do some stuff on YouTube and upload videos. I mean, there's not a lot of shows happening at this time. I'm hoping to just make a lot of more content just to get it out there. And obviously, we're going to be releasing an album at some point this year. So,
Dang it. I was going to set it up. But I guess that's the main point. You got new music coming out.
Yeah.
Mike the Man said, if you haven't followed him and all that stuff, go and do it now. Buy some stuff from him. And most importantly, just listen to his music. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, I mean, if you follow us on Spotify, that looks good. It's good to have those numbers for future releases and things like that. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Our big motto is I know that we are not alone. That is the lyric from our song Daybreak. It's the song that we end every show with. We make people sing it so that those words are felt physically through their body, in their brain, and heard in their bones. So just remember that.
Boom.
It's a good time to remember that you're not. So
I love it. And I appreciate you taking out the time. And let's wrap this thing up. So episode 33 with Bach Mai. Peace.
Peace.
Well, you were the reason for this flutter in my chest. You are the reason why I sleep less and less. All I have to say is twist that knife in, baby. Twist that knife. Just twist that knife in, baby. Twist that knife. And watch me bleed. Don't look away, 'cause it's all I have left for you today. But I'm better. I'm happy.